All right, 3-4 defense system. Coach Brady with you. This is our secondary session. Talk about our handbook for our DBs and kind of some things we ask them to do, have success in the 3-4 and the way we run it. All right, we're going to start with our defensive back goals. Here's kind of the cornerstone of what we think is important for our guys to be successful in this defense in the 3-4, and our DB coach and coordinator. Create takeaways and turnovers. Eliminate the deep threat. Okay, we definitely want to take away the deep ball. That's our ball if it's in the air. So we're going to aggressively play the football in the air and make plays back there. You know, nowadays people throw the football a lot, play a lot of spread teams. So we're going to have to make some plays. And we treat that ball in the air as our ball as well. And the last thing is be efficient tacklers. We got to knock things down in the secondary. It's important because if we miss a tackle, it's a big play. It could be a touchdown. Also, our effort on the backside of plays is what saves touchdowns. In our 3 seasons here at St. Mary's Riken, we've had at least 4 plays I can remember right now where our backside corner or safety made a play on the opposite sideline 40, 50 yards downfield to save a touchdown. All right? That wouldn't happen without hustle and without a desire to make that play. If you get a guy on the backside who's not a team player, right, and he's not playing every play, he takes plays off, that becomes a touchdown. Those 7 points change games. In 2 of those games, that tackle ended up in the other team not scoring and us changing the game, right? And one of them happened in one of my first games here. They had a long run. A kid actually is going to Michigan now to play running back. And our backside corner tackled him at the 3-yard line. They went 4 and out, didn't score. It was 0-0 at the time. Changed the momentum of the game, right? And they have been dominating the first quarter. So those kind of plays from DBs are unselfish plays. So we ask of these guys, right? But also make a big difference, right? And you're on the island out there, as you DBs all know. So let's go through this. All right, basics for us. We're going to start with a walk technique. Our initial technique on the snap of the football is called a walk. We're going to slowly walk out of our pedal if we're not playing the flat or playing an underneath zone. If we're a deep player, we're going to walk on that technique. The idea of that is after our 3rd walk step, we should know if it's run or pass. We should know where the ball is going by that point and what our departure point should be. Whether we're working to the middle of the field, angling, if I have 2 guys at the midpoint, whatever my job is on that play, I should know at that point. Now this is for zone, right? We're playing zone technique right here, okay? My eyes. Okay, depending on the coverage, what's my responsibility? Where are my eyes? Am I reading 2 to 1? Am I seeing the open lineman? Am I reading open lineman to the football? Okay, if I'm a man, my eyes are on my man. These are things I gotta know as I go through it, okay? Deep versus short concept, okay? I think this is very important, especially in high school football, okay? Our guys gotta know if they're a deep player or a short player, right? If I'm a deep player, okay, I'm gonna be way, way back, right? I'm gonna keep everybody in front of me, and that gets back to one of our 4 common goals here for these guys is no deep balls, right? Don't give up the big play. Make them make the short pass, make them run for it, make them earn it all the way down the field, okay? Understand when I'm a deep player, when I'm a short player. That's very important for our secondary guys and what your job is, okay? Our break. So our break's gonna be how we break on the football, how we change direction. And as all you guys know as DB coaches, that's the difference between making a play and not making a play. So we're going to work on that every day. So for us, every day has got to be working on our basic techniques, our eyes, training our eyes what to see, but then most importantly, breaking on the football, okay, and learning that muscle memory to be quick with it, okay? And then fit. Where is our run fit in the run game? If I'm coming down, if I'm no longer a deep player, that means now if I'm a short dropper, I'm involved in the run game. If I'm a corner playing the flat, I'm involved in the run game. Safeties, okay? If I'm not a middle field or a half player, that means I'm down, I'm in the run game. So I gotta know where my fit is and where I go as far as that goes. If I'm a deep player, I'm always late to the run. Okay, we talk about the corners being secondary contain. That means you don't come up and contain the football until the ball has crossed the line of scrimmage. So they can't throw it down the field again. I gotta make sure of that, okay? That eliminates big plays. All right, line drills for our DBs. So these are some drills we do. We call these our everydays. Our guys are gonna work these drills. We're gonna do our pedal, which is gonna be a walk, 1, 2, 3, pedal fast, and then run. It's also gonna involve a 180-degree vertical turn where we're gonna be pedaling, okay? And we're gonna turn and run full speed. We're gonna throw the elbow, open the hip up. Wanna open that hip up as we turn, which will bring our head. and get us to be able to change direction quickly. Again, as you guys know, DB is all about feet and hips. Okay, how fast can we change direction? How fast can we react to what we're seeing and close space, right? And then make a play with our hands. That's our first drill. Always going to work that to kind of get loose. We're going to do a nice little walk, then a pedal, and then a turn and run with a 180-degree vertical turn. All right. Then we're going to break on 90s and 45s. Again, just to work on that. They're both breaks that will happen in the game. You'll be pedaling, right, and have to break on a 90 on a ball. You'll be pedaling, have to break on a 45 on a ball. So we'll work those drills with the ball, without a drill, either way, doesn't matter. Sometimes we'll go with 4 guys at a time just to work those footwork drills and work on them on their transition from one to the next. Okay. We love this drill for all of our players, actually. We make all our guys do this in the off season, and our DBs usually do it during the season as well in their everydays. Okay, we're going to pedal backwards, right? Pedal. We're going to open on a 45. Then we're going to get 5-6 yards. Then we're going to stop and pedal again straight back, and then go the other way. All right. So it'll be pedal. Okay, open and run. Pedal, open and run to our left. So we get to open and run to each side. What we're working on is that transition of, I'm in my pedal, I got to open to my zone. I open to run, and now I got to get back under control of my body, gather my body, and back pedal again and open the other way. It happens in multiple ways. Sometimes we have to run to our zone and then settle on our zone and pedal for 2 steps to find the football and break. Sometimes it's the opposite. Sometimes I'm running, have to break while I'm on the run to go make a play. All right, so we like that drill a lot for all of our players to work on hips and feet. Obviously, the X and the M drill, you guys all do those. But I think those are vital, again, to our guys in a shorter space, really just working on those quick little change of direction drills, okay? And then speed turn, baseball turn. So that's like if I'm in man-to-man, I get beat, rather than I open the wrong way, rather than stopping and trying to turn back and run with that guy, getting in the habit of being able, okay, I turn the wrong way, I'm going to keep going that way and make a baseball turn like an outfielder would, and go and try and catch up to the top shoulder. Okay, working that drill with or without a ball as well. But those are our base everyday drills we're going to do for hips. Okay, so we're also going to talk about with our DBs, make sure you understand the difference between a zone turn and a man turn. We as coaches know the difference. But we got to make sure we take the time to explain it to them, because they only know what we tell them, right? And it's very important that they know that we're in a zone and we want a zone turn. We always want to see the football and see the quarterback. So the football is inside of me and I'm a DB and I'm pedaling on my side of the football. If I get a vertical route, maybe by 1 and 2, if we want a zone turn, I'm going to open to the quarterback as I drop, all right? Because I can still see the ball and go make a play on the ball. All right, that's a technique we got to work on. We got to talk about. We got to understand that. It needs to be in their notebooks. Okay, man turn. Now in a man turn, it might be a zone concept, but we're telling that guy that if he goes deep, he's yours. We have a concept called mod, man on deep. That was in our glossary, if you remember, for our DBs. Okay, so mod, my guy goes deep. Now if the ball's inside of me, I am turning to my man, right, and running with him, eyes on his hip. It becomes man. So it could have either started as man coverage or started as zone and became man based on the route recognition, right, and where they went. He becomes my man. So I guess I have to understand that becomes a man turn in that concept. All right, so a man drill we like to do, okay, works on all the important parts. We're going to start 5 yards apart, have that guy jog. I'm going to work on my my technique and my pedal. As he closes the distance, I'm going to start to turn with him. I want to get on his back hip. And as I run with him, I want to try and force him out, right? Push him off his route a little bit with his hips, with my back of my hand, okay? But I'm running with him and I'm squeezing to him, okay? Not even with the receiver, but slightly behind, right? And I know we all know our DBs, as soon as they get even, now you're going to lose. Okay, now it's so easy for that guy to mess with you, to get underneath of you on a route, okay? To mess with his speeds. We want to be on that back hip, right? So now if the ball is short, I'm right there. If it is a deep ball, we make it hard to catch. Again, back to the concept we believe is outside and away, right? Make the quarterback make the throw that is outside and the receiver is going away from the quarterback. Those throws are much harder than when the receiver is coming towards the quarterback or inside, okay? So that's kind of the concept we tell our guys from man to man. And we use a catch-up drill as well, where we have the receiver in front and defender behind about 5 yards. We'll start without a ball. We'll say go. we'll have that receiver start to run and then pretend he's catching the ball with his eyes without a football. We want our defender to learn how to catch up and not look until you get there, right? If you never catch up, you can't look for the ball. Okay, we have to work on that technique because everybody wants to look and find the ball, right? So we have to work on that technique of not looking until I get there. And then if I get there, then I can feel the receiver and play the football as I squeeze him. All right, we'll do that drill every day just to work on getting a feel for that. Now, eventually, you need to do that drill full speed because in a game, obviously, it's way different than doing it, in a jog or 3/4 speed. We have to work that drill within our one-on-ones as well. All right. We do believe in takeaways, so we're going to work some ball drills. We're going to have our form and fit stuff, which will be basic routes. On a fade, you get a smash concept with a corner route, on a wheel route. So our guys get used to fitting those up based on the coverages, right? So we're going to give our guy a coverage. For example, hey, corner, you're in cover 3, your guy's running a fade, okay? So that means we're going to have to mod that guy, man on deep. It's a zone concept, right? Okay, so he's going to actually zone turn on that and then play the football. Now, if he only has one receiver his side, that can become a man turn because now as that guy goes vertical, that's his only vertical threat in his zone. Now he can man turn that and squeeze that guy out. But again, anytime you can take your concepts you're playing in the game with your coverages and match them to a drill, it helps your guys get better. That's very important as a coach. Not just doing drills, they have to understand the correlation, how they go together. Okay, why are we doing this drill? How does this drill help me on Friday night? Okay, so we match up. They also learn the routes. I've been around as a college coach for 7-8 years. I had a lot of high school kids come to college, didn't understand routes. They didn't know what a smash was and what a wheel was, right? Your guys in high school should know those routes. They should know what every route is. They should know how we're going to play it, what it looks like. And that starts in the meeting room, in the off season, from watching film, and then from you constantly talking about it on the practice field. Okay? It makes a big difference. Okay. We're going to do a drill we call 3-yard interception, strip drill. So the coach is going to be about 10 yards away. The first player is on, the coach is on the goal line. The first player is on the 10. The second player is on the 15. The defender's on the 15-yard line. The coach has the football. He's going to turn one way or the other. Whichever way he turns, that receiver in the 10-yard line is going to run flat in that line. It's very important he stays on the line. So he goes on the line straight. The guy behind is going to break on the shoulder, but the guy behind is looking at the receiver for 3 steps. Again, we're teaching our guys eye discipline, right? As I break, I want to look at that receiver. After 3 steps, I should be able to catch up. Once I catch up, then I can look for the ball. As I look for the ball as the back guy, I'm going with my hand to knock the ball down. If I can intercept it, I bring the other hand. If I can't intercept it, I go for the ball and I secure the tackle with this hand. Okay? How many times do you see a guy breaking on a plane like this where he goes to the ball with his outside hand, he misses the ball or the interception, and the guy catches the ball and he's gone. All right? So we're working on a few things here. We're working on transition because my guy's going to pedal and then break. Okay, so I'm going to say go there. He's going to pedal. When I turn, he's going to have to do his break on a 45 at the receiver. He's going to break first 3 steps, eyes on the receiver. I like to have one coach, or if not, I'm the coach. I'm out there. I'm watching this guy's eyes. Make sure their eyes are on the receiver, and the guy with the ball is turning, and then he throws the ball. And then they got to find the football and then finish the drill. So that's a really good drill for us. I think that mimics what's going to happen in the game. And mimics making sure that if I don't get the ball with the inside hand, the outside hand can make the tackle. All right, middle of the field break. We're going to put the guy either in the middle of his zone or start him on the hash and have them, angle run, pedal to the middle of their zone, which happens for their corners and safeties sometimes. Because of pre-snap alignment, we have to move at the snap to get to our zone. So I'm a safety. I'm playing middle of the field. I might start in the hash. On the snap, I am going to angle to the middle and then pedal. Right, so we're going to work that drill, and then the quarterback is going to throw the ball 1, 2, 3, and then pick a side and throw the ball either on a line down the seam or put air on it. Okay, and give different looks there. So our guys work on different breaks, but the idea here is it's on air. They're reading the quarterback, and they're going to get the football, right, in the fastest angle possible to go get the ball and high point that ball, right? We talk about having 2 verts in the same zone, which is similar to this. So the only difference now, instead of having the quarterback in the middle of the field, now we're going to work on really more for the corners. This is a corners drill. So we're going to have the ball on the hash. We're going to have two receivers. One guy's going to run down the bottom of the numbers. One guy's going to run down the hash. We usually start them about 10, 15 yards down the field to give them a little bit of a break. They don't have to run so far during camp and stuff. The corner will be in the middle of his zone. He has to midpoint those two guys. He'll be closer to the inside receiver on the hash just because it's a longer throw to the outside. But basically, he's going to play the ball, right? So we're going to throw the ball to one of those two guys. The quarterback's going to be either on the hash or on the near goalpost. We're going to take a 1, 2, 3 drop and throw the football. Throw a fade or throw a seam. Let that corner get used to breaking on those routes from midpointing his zone of cover 3, okay? And the last one, reroute, break drill, that's our line drill. If you watch the drill session of this, we talked about line drill and that. That's the same drill. We're going to work on rerouting a vertical like a skiff dropper would. Our safeties have to do that a lot in our coverages. So work on reroute and then break on the football. All right, go get the football. We want to create turnovers, takeaways. Okay, our coordinator calls them takeaways, which I agree was a great word. It's important. Your wording is so important as a coach and what you say to these guys. You got to make sure you have great wording and we're all on the same page as coaches. Okay, but we're going to go get the football. We want to high point the ball. You know, how many DBs do you see? They say, I play defense because I can't catch. All right, well, that's a terrible excuse. All right, we want to catch the football. It starts with technique, though, right? You got to catch the ball with your hands in front of you. There's so many DBs that try and catch the ball with their body, right? And that's why they say they can't catch, because they never really learned how to catch growing up. All right, go get the football. The problem is if I don't catch the ball, if I catch the ball with my body, receivers can come in front and get the ball from me. They can take the ball away from me in the air. Okay, I want my hands in front of me, and just like receivers catch 100 balls, DB should catch 100 balls a day. We got to get used to catching the football. Coach Trott, one of the guys I worked for, incredible football coach, he always called drop interceptions defensive turnovers, right? If we drop an interception, that's a turnover by the defense, okay? That's hurting us, right? That's affecting our ability to win the football game, and it's a lot of fun to get interceptions and score touchdowns. We got to catch the ball, so we got to work on those skills. All right, run support. So again, a big part of the secondary is our support. Everybody in front of us has their fits and where they're gonna go. They're gonna make mistakes sometimes. The offense is gonna have good plays. We gotta be able to knock stuff down. That means get it on the ground, right? As I said earlier in tackling, for DBs, if the guy's on the ground, that's a good tackle. That's what we want. We want the guy on the ground at the end of the play so we can line up again. Make them keep lining up. Because as you know, the more times they line up, the more chances for us to get a takeaway and the more chances they're gonna make a mistake, right? We'll get the ball back for our offense. All right, so a few drills we're gonna do. We're going to do a bag and gather drill. Okay, we're going to work from space, okay, and work to a bag, break down, gather, and then tackle a ball carrier. Okay, a lot of variations in that drill, however you want to do it. Okay, but we're going to work on that a lot because a lot of what we do with our safeties, we call it drill down. We're going to drill down to a spot. We're going to have to move our feet and go make a tackle, right, and gather and go make a tackle. All right, alley tackle, sideline tackle. Okay, we all do this drill. The sideline can become one of our friends, not an enemy. He's a 12th player on our defense. So for our safeties, a lot of times we're in the middle of the field. We are an alley attack tackler, right? We're going to tackle inside out in the alley. We're going to work that technique, all right, of working inside out and tackling a running back on that kind of a deal. Now, there's a couple ways we can do it. One way we like to do this drill is have a corner and a safety. So the corner is thinking late, outside in, and the safety is thinking inside out. So we'll vice tackle. We'll get an open field running back. Again, it's a thud drill. We're not going to the ground. We're really more working on technique and angles and learning what that looks like. Teaching that corner to play a block, get off a block, but force that ball back inside, to not allow that back to get outside of him. Tackle the outside leg kind of thing. Then we'll also do just one-on-one, where it's you by yourself. You have start the defender on the hash, put the running back on the hash, tossing the ball, and have that guy coming inside out, using the sideline as a 12th defender and pinning that guy into the sideline and get him out of bounds. Okay, attacking the near hip. Vice tackle, we'll do that sometimes with our corner and safeties, where we'll have them, 5 yards apart and getting used to there's a guy in space, maybe it's a screen, and you have a guy outside and a guy inside. Understanding your leverage, where your help is coming from, and how I'm going to tackle that. Okay, we're always going to work angle tackle from a very close space, because how we look at tackling is the closer we are, the faster we can go and more physical we can be. The farther away we get, we're going to slow down that power or aggression at the point of contact. And if we're 10 yards apart, now it's really about feet and settling and under control. We don't want people colliding from 10 yards apart. All right, we don't need that. All right, but angle tackle, that gets our guys to have a collision. We're going to be 1-2 yards apart, working that angle look. Okay, and we're going to run through that guy. Okay. Open field tackle. We all work on that. We talk about, moving our feet. If you have to give some ground, you can. You're trying to buy time for the rest of the guys to get there, right? Open field tackles are tough. Some of the guys we're going against are really talented athletes with the football in their hands, okay? And we want to try and buy as much time as we can. We definitely want to pick a side, okay? Whatever side we think will be most advantageous to us, either whether force them back to our help, or if we're that alone with a guy, try and use the sideline and get him out of bounds as a 12th defender. Okay, we're going to work some open field drills. One-man sled, that just coaches our guys how to finish and to build some strength during the season. We're going to go in a one-man sled. We're going to lift it up. We're going to push it, 4 or 5 yards. Whistle to start, whistle to stop. It works on technique, works on grabbing the back of the cloth. Okay, and then the last drill we like to do with our guys is the force drill. So we make our corners do it as well. So all our DBs at some point may have to force the ball back inside, whether it's a screen, some kind of run play. But if you're the force player and you're getting blocked out, you have to come attack that block with force, and keep it inside. You're a D-gap player. Keep your outside arm and leg free. So we work on that technique of attacking the blocker, matching the angle of the blocker. Okay, if he's coming out inside to outside. But again, collision, separation. And then get rid of that guy with your hands as soon as you can and be able to go make a tackle, right? And tackle the outside leg if you're the force player. But that's some of our run support drills we do. As we're doing these drills, again, we're talking about the techniques and the coverages when they're applicable. All right, DBs, route identification. All right, this is vital for our kids. We got to understand routes, okay? What are their releases? What keys us off to what route they're going to run? Okay, obviously the alignments. You're watching film. Why is this guy lined tight? What's he going to do? Why is the slot on the ball and the outside guy's off the ball? Okay, there's got to be a reason. Start understanding these different things, different alignments from watching film. And then, lastly, every receiver has unique characteristics. There's some guys, and once a run play, they stand different in their stance. They're lazy in their stance. Okay. There's some guys when they're going vertical by their release, okay? We got to study these releases. We got to study how they're working off the football, their stems as a receiver if we're going to play a lot of man-to-man. And then that makes us better football players. Now, we can only do this when our guys understand our base coverages. That's why our coverages need to be simple. Our guys need to understand how they work, right? Understand their role and their job in it, where they're going. Because the next level is to be able to do stuff like this with our DBs. All right, studying our opponent. All right, with our DBs, this is stuff we talk about with our DBs each week in our game plan, and we want our guys to understand. And we try to do this year-round with some film sessions to kind of keep their mind fresh and work on that acumen all the time. All right, we're going to talk about personnel group and formation. They should already know by personnel group, if we get 10 personnel, they're probably going to get either 2x2 or 3x1, and maybe empty. But they should already know that in their minds. They're thinking pass, right? They're thinking we're going to have a spread offense. 21 personnel, now they're thinking, okay, it's more of a run type deal. A lot of 21 personnel calls, now you're going to have your corners going to be deep players for the most part, and now your secondary, your safety, your free and your rover are now really involved in the run game. Because they brought 2 guys into the box, we got to bring 2 guys into the box, which usually becomes our safeties. All right, we got to understand that. All right, we're going to study alignment and stance. Why they lined up where they are. What does bunch mean? Why are they in bunch? Why do they go formation into the boundary? What does that do for them? What are they trying to do to us as a defense? What's our answer to that? Okay? Motions also go into that. Down and distance and situation of the game. Maybe it's 1st and 10, first play of the series. They're down by 8. Maybe it's 3rd and 3, and there's 4 minutes left in the game. Okay, and they're winning. What are they going to do? They're probably going to run the football because they want to throw it. So we got to understand situations of the game as DBs. And that's why we want to have our mic every play announce that so guys get reminded of it. But also, as you're watching film with your guys, especially in camp, anytime you're off season, we want to talk about these things all the time because eventually they'll start sinking in the more we say it to them. It's not going to happen like that, though, as we know, right? But eventually it'd be great. Just in case you had a question about personnel identification, we give all our players this sheet so they understand that 10 personnel is 1 back and no tight ends. We just assume the receivers, so we assume there's 4 receivers. So that's 10 personnel. All the way down to 22 personnel, 2 backs, 2 tight ends. But these personnel groups will change our defensive calls, and the kids need to understand that. A lot of weeks' defensive call sheets for a lot of programs are going to be determined based on these personnel groups. Now, once in a while, you'll play a team that will get in every formation, every personnel group with the same group of guys. Okay, they're hard to play. That changes your approach as a defensive staff. But also, you can always tell if they got 10 personnel versus 22 personnel. That's a big difference as far as the size of the players in the game and the formations they're going to be in. Okay. All right, let's talk about cover 3. Cover 3 is our base coverage in the 3-4. Our alignments for our corners first. Okay, so our normal for our corners is going to be 7 yards off the football. Okay, 1 yard inside of the widest receiver. So as long as that number 1 receiver has a normal split, it's not a bastard split or really, really tight split, okay, we're going to be 7 yards off, 1 yard inside. All right, a tight split by the normal receiver, that's going to allow us to have outside leverage because now we know that he's probably going to go under or going to run some kind of an out route. He's lined up tight for a reason. Or they're trying to run the football, run toss sweep, option, trying to run something to the outside. They're trying to get us to constrict our defense. So we want you to keep width to keep leverage on them, okay? All right, if we have number 1 receiver to our side, a tight end or an H, they call that a dead end. So the first guy to our side is a dead end, a tight end or an H back. We're going to line up 5 by 2. So we're going to be 5 yards off the line of scrimmage, 2 yards outside of that tight end. Just so we have contain out there. A lot of times we'll make a flat check for the corner or cloud check where the corner now will play the flat and the safety will play over the top. Okay, that's going to be a communication with you guys. All right, if the ball's on the hash, we want the field corner to be no wider than the top of the numbers. There's no reason to line up outside the numbers. The ball's on the hash in high school football. As you guys know, it's a long way, and people don't really throw the ball out there very often. If they do throw the ball there, it's a long time for the ball to be in the air. So that's a basic rule for our corners I wanted to add there. All right, key reads for our corners. Okay, first of all, they're going to be late to the run, right? They're late edge support. We're not coming up as a corner and cover 3 until the ball has crossed the line of scrimmage. Toss sweep, you got to stay back, make sure it's not toss pass. Screen, all that stuff, you're late. There's somebody else in charge of forcing the play and keeping the ball inside. It's not you. Okay, your key is going to be, depending on the cover 3, your key is going to be M-loss for run pass. You're going to try and see that to the football. We're just going to kind of get a quick visual cue of what the tackle's doing as you're going through your pedal. So 1, 2, 3, your walk technique into your pedal. So you're going to walk 1, 2, 3. I'm going to read initial lineman to the ball, kind of see what's going on so I can get a break on the football. We will do 3-step here. We're going to break on 3 steps. So if they're in the gun and the quarterback catches the ball and sets his feet, right, I'm going to be ready to break on the football as far as that goes. But also our technique is very dependent on down and distance and the formation. You got to be aware of that and understand what you're going to get. If you got 2 guys on you and you're in cover 3, and there's 2 speed guys, your number 1 job is to make sure you don't get beat deep and you midpoint those 2 guys. So be aware of situation and who you're going against. We do use some bail to bait throws on short yards at certain times. If you're going to use a bail technique and they throw a fade, you better pick it off, right? Because we're baiting them. We want them to throw a fade because we're showing you're in man press. All right, so I think that's important that we make those plays and use good technique. But again, like every position, make sure whatever you're using to try to disguise, make sure you still can do your job. That's the most important part. Okay. All right, so cover 3, the 2 safeties. We have a drop-down safety. These guys can come down in the box. He's going to rotate down to that hip position we talked about earlier, okay, in earlier talks with the outside backers. So now essentially your safety, your free or rover, you have become an outside linebacker, right? You're in hip position. You're going to read M-loss from right there. You're going to be about 5 to 6 yards off the line of scrimmage, somewhere in there. It's a feel thing. But you're at linebacker depth, and you're coming down, you're reading M-loss to the football. Okay, when you come down to a hip position, we're going to apex O-tackle on number 2. If number 2 is a tight end or H-back, you're not going to be 4 to 5 yards off the line of scrimmage outside of him and 5 to 6 yards deep. All right, drop down safety. Talking about M-loss. If you get a pass, okay, you're now going to be, if we're in cover 3, you're going to be playing a skiff. You're going to reroute number 2 like we talked about. You're going to work seam to curl to flat on the drop. All right. If we get a catch and throw by the quarterback, your responsibility is number 2. Corner responsibility is number 1 as we break. But again, you're reading that quarterback for your break as far as that goes. All right. Drop down safety. I get a run read. If it's run to me, I'm the force player. Anytime I'm skiff, I have force. So I'm dropping down the 5 or 6 yards. I read M-loss. Okay, he blocks down. That means the play's coming at me. I'm going to come match the angle of the guy blocking me and force the ball back inside. Okay, outside arm and leg free. If I get flow away from me, or AB cylinder run, which is inside, and I'm the hip player, I'm now going to fold inside to play the cutback. We also call that BCR, boot, counter, reverse. I'm the backside player for anything coming back to me when I'm a skiff player, okay? If the ball continues to the front side, once it gets over there and nothing's coming back, then I would get on a good angle to the football downfield to make that tackle. All right, middle of the field safety. We always want to try and show our too high look, so we're going to be rotating to the middle. So we're kind of on a string together. One safety's coming down, one safety's going in the middle on that string. So we show too high on the snap, we're moving. Okay, I'm working to the middle of the field. I want to be at 12 to 15 yards over the ball by the snap of the football, okay? Our eyes for our safety, we're looking for an uncovered guy. So if there's a lineman, it's uncovered, we're going to look to him. Eyes to that guy to the football to get my run pass read. I am pass first, okay, but we want this guy to be pretty active in the run game. He is running the alley on any run, inside out. Because in cover 3, remember, our skiff guys are going to force the ball back inside, and you're forcing the ball back to our safety who's running the alley, as well as the other guys in the interior, the D-line, the linebackers. They're going to chase the ball when it's a wide flow play. All right? If it's a pass, I'm deep middle. My job is to get in the middle of the field, okay, and take away any kind of post route. I can react late to a dig, but I make sure I don't get too nosy because my job is to make sure I got the deep route and play the post. All right, so that's for cover 3. Let's talk about our palms coverage. So you guys sometimes call it read 2. We do run some palms coverage. We'll be in our Okie front. We'll bring a 4th rusher, either the Jack or the Sam, okay? And then we'll play read 2. So the rules for this are very simple, okay? And we divide the field in half. So one side, corner, safety, and the outside backer, which will be either the Will, okay, or the Sam, okay? Single width, corner is deep half player, safety is going to rob the curl, and backer is going to play the flat. So that's going to be single width, all right? Double width. Okay, now we got 2 speed guys. Okay, so 2 speed guys, corner and safety, you're reading 2 to 1. So your eyes are both going to be on the slot. We're going to read his release. Okay, we're going to, based on what he does, we're going to switch off or we're going to stay on our man. So this is a zone man concept where we're going to, whatever the release of number 2 is, that's where our eyes are. That will determine whether the corner stays on 1 and safety on 2 or if they switch responsibilities. Now, you're both deep players in this because the backer has skiff. The backer is the underneath player, right? You don't have to jump routes too fast. So in this technique, we're both going to be walking out of there with our eyes on 2, ready to pedal if we need to on a vertical route. Okay, if they would switch right now, we're going to switch. But underneath is Sam's responsibility. He has the underneath route, or I'm sorry, the backer underneath. Okay, if we get triple width, we get 3 receivers to a side, 3 speed guys. Now we're going to get a trips check. Okay, that'll change our coverage totally. Back to single width. Remember, single width means we have 1 receiver, whether that's tight end flanker or just a receiver. There's only 1 speed guy, 1 guy outside the framework of the offense. All right, so here's a look at read coverage. Okay, so we get double width. Okay, you see we have double width here. So this side's going to play read. That means the safety and the corner are reading 2 to 1. The Sam is a skiff player. Remember, our Mike is always off of 3, even though this is the DB section, right? He's always going to relate to number 3. Okay, to the other side, okay, this is single width, right? We only have 1 receiver. So single width means now the corner is half field post safety. The free is going to rob the curl. And now our will actually be our Jack in our defense. Sorry, this is a different one. This will be the J for us. Our Jack is going to drop to the flat, okay, in single. All right, so that's read coverage. All right, triple width. So we got 3 receivers, 3 speed guys to a side. We already talked about single and double. All right, so this is the third part of palms. So we got 3 receivers to a side. We're going to make a trips check. You can say it's a triple check right here. So our corner is going to take number 1 man-to-man with inside leverage. We're going to eliminate him. So we're going to play 10 on 10. Our Sam and our Free are not going to play read on 3 and 2. So we're going to read from 3 to 2. They're going to read 3's release. There's multiple ways for you guys to do that, how you want to read that. Basically, we're going to have a communication system for them. Our Sam is 1 yard outside number 2 and 6 yards deep off the football. He's going to work with his eyes inside to read 3's release. Any outside release, he's going to jump it, and the Free will take number 2 man to man. If 3 does not release outside, they will stay on their men, okay? The other side of the field is up to you how you want to play it. There's a couple ways to play the backside as well. If you want help from your rover on the weak side, you can make a solo call to the weak side corner. That would put your safety in the middle of the field. If you're worried about that X receiver, then you're going to have your safety stay backside. Either have a sky call with the safety taking the flat and corner over the top, or vice versa with a cloud call, corner in the flat, so you can double team that number 1 receiver to the weak side. All right, this is our trips check right here, one of them that we could use in the game, and just say check triple. All right, moving on. So when we watch the film of our 3-4, you're going to see us go through a couple different coverages. One you're going to see a bunch of is man-free. Okay, so in our man-free defense, one guy is free. That's what that means. So it's going to be a middle of the field safety. His job is to, again, show too high, work to the middle of the field in the snap, get to about 12 to 15 yards of depth. His job is to play anything deep in the middle and knock it down. Again, he's an alley runner on any kind of run play. Okay? The other safety, the drop-down safety, is going to be responsible, okay, for either 3 strong or 2 weak. There's a couple ways to do this. You can either rotate the safeties based on where 3 strong is and 2 weak, or you can have one guy designated as the middle player and one guy designated as the man player. So we've done both. If we have a guy that's really good at man-to-man, we'll probably have that guy work down and play man, let the other guy in the middle of the field. Or vice versa, if we have a guy who's just great in the middle of the field, that player just can roam the field and make plays, great instincts, put him in the middle, let him play football, and put the other guy in man-to-man with outside leverage on the slots, okay? But it is the safety's job, man-free coverage, to make sure that everybody is covered. They communicate that, make sure everybody's set up the right way. If we're in man-free, we're probably blitzing somebody, bringing a 5th guy. So we're going to make sure who that guy is that's going and make sure we have the right coverage and everybody covered up. All right, our corners, we're going to be either press or off man-to-man, okay? If we're going to press, we want to have lateral feet, soft feet on the snap, okay? You want to squeeze, okay, and really press that receiver, okay, and force him outside because we're playing inside leverage. You can see here we also have an off-man technique. That's going to be a slow pedal. We do read for 3-step on that, so our eyes are going to see the quarterback, just see how he's catching the football and what's going on. As soon as he's not catch and throw, if it's play action or if he's taking a drop, now our eyes are back to our receiver. We're looking at that hip, protecting our inside, okay? When the cushion breaks, we're going to make sure we turn and squeeze to that guy and get on his back hip. All right, 0. You also see a few snaps of 0 from our defense. Okay, that means there's going to be no help. It means we're sending 6 rushers. We have 5 guys in coverage. Okay, corner's going to be man-to-man on number 1 or best matchup. What does that mean? Well, if they put their running back at the outside receiver or their tight end, and they got a fast receiver at number 2, we're going to put our corner on number 2 receiver and put the Sam or the safety outside on the H-back or the tight end. Okay. Want corners to cover the fast guys. They're supposed to be the better covers anyways, right? So Free and Rover, you're our adjusters in this when we go 0 coverage. You got to know where the blitz is coming from, who are the uncovered guys. That's your job. In a perfect world, we're going to have, if it's a 1-back offense, we got 4 receivers. We got our 2 corners and 2 safeties. They're going to cover the 4 speed guys. The extra backer not blitzing will take the running back. All right. If we have 3 receivers, now you got 1 safety and 1 backer taking the 2 guys in the backfield. So again, communication is vital here. It's up to our safeties to get that done. All right, and we will run with all motion. Your guy goes in motion across the formation. You got to trail the inside hip and stay inside out on him, but we will not bump any kind of man. We're going to stay, once we decide man, we're going to stay with it. Okay? I think it's important to have some kind of a chart for your guys so they can easily see, hey, here's our base coverages. Kind of cut off a little bit, I apologize, cover 3. But you have your different coverages. You have their jobs and their tags. You can put your signals in here. This would be something you put in your DB manual for those guys to stay on the same page, all right? I'll finish with our goals for our DBs. Again, we want to create takeaways, okay, in the secondary. We want to eliminate the deep threats. Don't give teams big plays, home run plays. during a game. That's momentum changing. And we want that ball either picked off or knocked on the ground. We're going to aggressively play the football. As I said before, that ball is our ball too in the air. We have to play that way. But the only way to be able to play the football is to work on our hips and our feet and to have great breaks on the football, which starts in practice, in our 7-on-7 drills and ball drills. And lastly, we got to be able to knock stuff down. We got to be able to be efficient tacklers, get the ball carrier on the ground, stay on our feet, okay? Because when we miss a tackle, it's a touchdown. It's a big difference.